So I don't know about you, but to me, whenever someone has ever asked me, what do you do? It has always felt extremely awkward. I remember when I first started my online business, I thought, I cannot wait until I'm in this for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, because then I'll have such a clear answer that when they ask me, I'll have this just like perfect curated little elevator pitch, as they like to call it, and then all will be dandy. I will feel good about myself, they will get it, they will hire me, they will refer their friends to me, and then we're all set. But I can tell you, I've been in this for over 4 years now, and it still feels awkward to me when someone asks me, what do you do? So if you've ever felt that, in this video, I'm going to share with you my own process around really getting to an answer that feels good, because ultimately we don't want to be saying anything that doesn't feel good. We want to move out of a paradigm in which we are speaking from a place of meeting someone else's expectations, and we're coming from what is actually resonating in our hearts. And so for me, even if someone right now asks me, what do you do? I've had moments where I've said, I teach conscious sexuality, or I help women in their online businesses show up with more of their power, more of their essence, more of their voice. I've like curated all of these things, but ultimately, when I say them, like I'm present as those words are coming through me, and something always feels a little bit off about it. And I have been all of these years wondering what that is, right? What is that offness? And I've come to a couple things. Well, first of all, we are human beings. We are not human doings. And so asking somebody the question, what do you do? The person is already at a disadvantage, because the answer is going to be trying to explain something that is not the essence or the culmination or the truth of what we are, who we are being, right? And so I care more about how a person is being in the world, where their heart is, how they spend their energy, than I care about how they make their money or what they do on the outside. And especially if you are a light worker, if you are a healer, if you're on a path of awakening, if you're an indigo child, if you relate to any of these things, then you know the truth is that what you're here doing is removing everything that you're not and stepping into everything that you are. So you're on an unfolding path. You're not getting somewhere and stopping there. So when someone asks you this question of what do you do, it feels stagnant. It feels like, oh shit, like I need to stop my evolution and just have something that I do. So for me, the way that I approach this question is I tune into where my heart is, where my energy and time is going, and I ask myself, what really am I doing these days? And I approach it with humor. So I used to kind of say, like, I meditate and I breathe and I exist and I also create and I also teach and I also coach, right? But I would start with this, I would start with the more soul human things of what I do, and then I would move into really my work in the world. Sometimes I will kind of make it funny. I'll just be like, I help people have epic orgasms, and I'll just kind of relate it in that way. And because what this does is it actually opens up space for more of a conversation around what you do or what your life's work is. Because even if you have, let's say you've had a business for 7 years, let's say you've been teaching the same thing for 7 years, it can still feel awkward to answer that question, because you really want this person to see you for you, for who you are in your heart and in your soul. When I specifically ask myself, what what action do I do? The clearest one is I listen. I listen for intuition. I listen for messages. I listen for what steps to take next. I listen for the voice of a higher power or a guide or an angel. I listen and then I move from there. And so that could even open up a whole other conversation if you want to approach it that way. And I'm just curious for you if you've kind of had this burden of, that question, what do I do, on your shoulder. I'm wondering that if you allowed yourself to just listen, simply listen, I'm wondering if that would take some of the burden off of you, and if you could even get even more clear with your answers if you started with that I listen. Okay, what are you listening to? Okay, what is that voice that's coming through? Okay, what is it making you do, or what is it having you do? How are you stepping forward from listening to that space, that intuition inside of you? I meditate, I do yoga, I eat beautiful plant foods, I lay in the sunshine, I read books on health and healing and awakening, I coach women, I coach couples, I write, I blog, I make videos, and so I listen to my heart, I love my partner, I seek my truth, I empower the feminine on the planet. And so what I do for my life's work and how I make money is interwoven in everything that I do. It makes me more of a whole being. I don't need to, and you don't need to only focus on how you make your money when someone asks you, what do you do? You can show people that you are a heart, that you are a soul in that unfolding of the question. And so actually the key here is being okay with your journey of awakening, with your journey of unfolding, with your journey of not being stagnant, not being stuck in one specific thing, and come to accept the process of being so multifaceted, so multidimensional. Come to peace, come to terms with any demons, any ego inside of you that's telling you just have it figured out, just have that perfect elevator pitch. And if you need it for specific businessy things, then fine, you can create it. But I know that if you're anything like me, when you speak just that, it feels in your system, like literally in your throat, in your gut, in your heart, it feels off. And so my guidance is to listen to that, because that is love speaking, that is your heart speaking. The part of you that wants to say, I am a health coach for women who need more energy. The part of you that wants to say that is the part of you that's seeking recognition. The part of you that's seeking acceptance for who you are. And so if you can give that to yourself, if you can gift that to yourself, you might understand a different process that you can take yourself on, or a different way to express what you're up to in the world, what you're up to in yourself when someone asks you that question. If someone came up to me and then they asked me, what do you do? And I said, I teach sacred sexuality and I help women connect to their power. Part of the reason why it doesn't feel good, or why it doesn't even land, right? Like that person might be like, okay, so many other people do that, is because it doesn't really tell them anything about me, and it doesn't tell them my why of why I do my work in the world. It doesn't tell them why I wake up in the morning. It doesn't tell them what I'm super passionate about. And so we're coming into or maybe it's always been here, but the invitation is to really answer with heart. Answer that question with heart by going inside and asking yourself in that moment. And you need to give yourself permission to go slow. Some of my clients asked me this question, and I said, give yourself permission to, in that moment, when they ask you, slow down. You don't have to, like, all this talk about how you have to be speedy, you have to just have your elevator pitch, you gotta have it, da 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 da. Well, that may be true for a particular world, but and if you're watching this video, you're more likely stepping into the path of a more heart-centered leader role. You're more on the path of an awakened business leadership. And so we're creating a whole new field of what's possible. So allow yourself to speak slower, allow yourself to go within and to really ask yourself, what does my being, what does my soul want to answer with? What does my soul, what am I doing? What is my work in the world? And allow yourself to find that true answer, even if it takes a little bit longer than a set elevator pitch. You will probably see that when you do that, and if you allow yourself to do that again and again and again and again and again, you'll get closer and closer and closer to what that truth is, because you'll feel it in your body and in your system. As I start this new YouTube channel, of course, that question kind of like sprouts up. What do you do? Because in particular YouTube trainings and whatnot, they tell you to have it very set and very clear. And I am really setting an intention to create this channel, sharing what I do, sharing this wisdom around sexuality and around leadership and around empowerment, but also sharing from a place of listening and sharing from a place of channeling and sharing from a place of what is really feeling good to speak. And so this is the first video to start this channel and to welcome you into this space and into my space, welcome myself into this space, all of it, all of the above. And yeah, so I hope that that was helpful for you, and let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you usually answer when someone asks you, what do you do? And if this video was helpful in kind of getting you clearer around steps that you can take to answer in a more heart-centered, true way. So I love you all so much, and I will see you next time.